Hey everyone, welcome to Sequence of Instructions. Thanks for joining me. In this video we're going to dive a little bit into CSS. We're going to see how a little bit of CSS can go a long way into making our pages look cooler. As a reminder, I'm on jspin.com. I have my HTML and output tabs open, and I've just written a little bit of quick HTML here, very similar to the stuff we've already learned. You'll see I've included the HTML and body elements. I did that just to make it look a little nicer when we apply some styles, but I again don't want to go in too much into what these are. I'll have the code posted in the description section of this video, so if you want to just copy what I have to play with the CSS a little bit, feel free to do so. Alright, so let's just see what we got here. HTML body, I said, we're not going to worry too much about. They're just basically containers. We have an H1 tag, we have an H3 tag, we learned what those do. We have a couple P tags, some text in there. And then we have an unordered list with 1, 2, 3 list items. So all there is to it is a strong tag in the middle of one of our paragraphs, but otherwise, a couple strong tags here. Otherwise, pretty much pretty straightforward. So what can we do to this page to make it a little more interesting? You'll see it's a kind of a handout, a flyer. Maybe you can imagine getting some link to some web page, a little ad placement thing that tells you some information about a hackathon coming up Saturday at 9 a.m. It says, join us this weekend for an 8-hour-long hackathon. The theme is going to be robot families, and it's anything goes. Winning team will receive a new iPad and a 1-year membership to Amazon Prime. Okay, just for clarification, this is made up. There's no hackathon Saturday at 9 a.m. You won't be winning an iPad or a membership to Amazon Prime, but if you were, the what, where, and when is here. And if I was hosting this, I would want a lot of people to see it and for them to want to go to it. So I need to stylize it. I need to make it pop a little bit better because this is kind of boring. This looks like, you know, your English class homework writing a paper. It's a real yawn. So what can we do? Well, let's pop open our CSS tab. I'm going to hide my HTML tab here. And now I got my CSS open. So what is CSS? CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. We're not getting into what cascading means, but just focus on style sheet. It lets you stylize your web pages. You can define different styles using the CSS syntax, and your web browser will put those styles on whatever elements you want. So you may be asking a couple questions, one of which is, what is a style? And the other one is, how do I tell it what elements to give that style? Those are both great questions that I'm sure you were just thinking. And here's the answer. CSS always follows the pattern of selector. So I'm going to select the element. We'll get into how selectors work in a second. Followed by an open curly brace, a closing curly brace. And inside here, in between these curly braces, you're going to write every style you want to apply to whatever this element is. And again, we're going to get into how we select elements, but for now, how do we assign styles is the question. The pattern for assigning styles is going to be similar to what we learned with HTML attributes. It's going to be style name, colon, instead of an equal sign, it's going to be a colon, and then style value, followed by semicolon. Okay, so this, excuse me, this is going to be the pattern for every CSS line of code that you write. You're first going to select some element, given with a selector, open curly brace, closing curly brace, and in between those you're going to write every style you want to assign and the value you want to give it. There are a set number of styles you can use, but that set is in the hundreds. There are literally hundreds of styles you can apply. And the values are going to be heavily dependent on what style you're using. So for example, an example of a style I might set might be the color being the color of the text. And a value I might give it would be red, right? But if I wanted to say the font size as a style, I wouldn't use red. That wouldn't really make a lot of sense to have a font size of red, right? So the value is going to be largely dependent on what the style is, but they'll start to make sense as you use them more. So let's write a real one here. Okay, first thing I want to do is I want to change the background of the entire page to this cool, cool baby blue that I found. So how do I do that? Well, looking at this HTML really quick, the body we didn't learn this. There's no way you would know this, but the body element is the entire visible page. Okay? So you don't need a body tag. I mean, you should have one. JSBin doesn't care. But your HTML pages are always going to have one. And if you want to do anything with the whole page, the body is a great place to start. So how do I select this body element? Well, the simplest way is just by the tag name. So I can write the tag body, and I will now have selected every element on the page that is a body element. In this case, there's only one, so I get that exact one that I want. Remember, the pattern is selector name, in this case body, by tag name, opening curly brace, closing curly brace. And now what I want to do is I said I wanted to set the background color. So the style property we're going to be using is background color. I separate it with a colon. The value is this. I found it online. This is some hexadecimal value of a color. You could just say red, but I think red looks pretty bad. There's a lot of set ones, but you can really choose your own if you know the hexadecimal value of it. And we'll do a video on how to find that maybe in the future. End it with a semicolon. Okay, so again, this follows that pattern that we learned before. We have our selector. In this case, we're selecting by element name. The element name is body in this case that we want. Our web browser is going to go, it's going to read this, it's going to go, all right, every body element needs to get a background color of this blue. It's going to look through your HTML. It's going to go up. There's a body element. I'm going to give this guy a background color of blue. And because body contains everything, everything is going to get a background color of blue. Okay, but maybe we say, well, the small text is kind of hard to read with that slightly blue background. We really want it to stick out. All right, well, what I might do instead is say, okay, well, the background of the whole page is going to be blue, but I want my paragraph tags, I want these guys to be white, have a white background. So we can come back over to CSS. We're going to select again by tag name. The tag is P. I'm selecting all P tags. I'm saying P tags, I want you to have a background color of white. You don't need this space. It doesn't care if there's 1, 2, a million spaces or none. I like to do it for readability. All right, so you see I made P tags have a white background color. And here's where you can really see how styles become powerful, because now I have styles stacked on other styles. I have a whole background color on the body, but paragraph tags get this white background. It's a little hard to read, so let's learn a new style. Let's learn one called padding. Padding is going to give me, there's no better word for it, it's going to give me padding between my content and the area around it. And now padding is a value. It's how much padding do you want? Well, I want 10 pixels of padding. And there we go. All my P tags now not only have a white background, but they also have these 10 pixels of padding on all sides. See that? So before I had this, no padding. The text butted right up against the content area with some padding. Well, now the text has a little bit of breathing room. You can see those 10 pixels on every side right there. All right, and that happens again. I just selected P tags. So every P tag is going to get it. This first one's going to get it, and the second one's going to get it. Right? Your browser's going to say, all right, P tags need to be background color white, padding 10. It's going to look through. Oh, there's one. Give it that style. Looks through some more. Oh, there's another one. Give it that style. All right. So this is, again, selecting by tag name. There's one last thing I want to do this before I call it quits. One more style we're going to learn. This one is text align. I don't really like how it's all left aligned. You imagine if this was a flyer, it might be center aligned. So what we want to do is text align, and the value we're going to give it is center. See how it shifted everything over? And now you may be wondering, hey, wait, that's on the body. Why are the P tags also text aligned? That doesn't really make a lot of sense. Well, here's where that cascading word comes in. Basically, the style that you give an element is going to cascade to all of its children. So body has a text align center. All these children are now going to get that text align center. Does that make sense? So body's text align center, all the elements inside of it are going to inherit that style, and they're also going to become text align center. Alright, and so while this still isn't great, it's much better than it was before. Right? No styles, boring, not going to go to your hackathon, looks lame, you're lame. With styles, alright, now we're talking. Now I might go to your hackathon. I don't know, what am I doing Saturday at 9? I haven't decided. And maybe in a few videos, we'll put a few more styles on this and really make sure everybody who sees it's going to really wish they can go. But that's it for this video. Just a quick intro to styles, cascading style sheets, CSS, a couple styles that we used, and how to select things. A lot more to learn on that front. So stay tuned to future videos. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Till next time, take care. Bye.